Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Astronomy Arcade. My name is Victoria. You can call me Vicky, but today we don't have nameplates, so you can just call me Vicky, actually, because it's D&D in Space night, but it's a little bit different than our normal thing because Kyle is on a plane, so he cannot be here today. But we wanted to bring y'all some D&D in Space because it's been a couple weeks, and we can't really doing a fun little like in between episode that was still D&D seemed a little complicated because we are at the precipice of the end of a mission at the moment. So we're gonna do something a little bit different, and instead of passing it off to our lovely game master Grant, I think we're gonna pass it off to Mac.
Thank you.
Lovely party
Vicky.
members.
So yeah, as Vicky said, we're doing something a little bit different tonight. I thought that it might be fun to do a little bit of a Q&A slash roundtable discussion with everyone to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and the prequel events and answer some questions that we may or may not be asking ourselves. I know I have been asking them myself. So I'm alleviating the stress from Vicky and Grant, who typically run things around here, and giving them an opportunity to kind of sit back while I have prepared some questions for everybody that we can sit down and chat and talk about, and you guys can learn a little bit more about us as players and as people, and we can get into the inner workings of Grant's mind and potentially talk about story and plot a little bit. And just have fun with it. So yeah, we may go on tangents. I encourage that. We can tell some fun stories about our time playing D&D and just have fun with this.
Ask us as many questions as you want.
Yeah, feel free
nothing
to
off the table.
Feel free to throw stuff.
Well,
Okay.
except for you know what I mean.
We are on Twitch. Hold on.
This is
Okay,
the
well,
internet.
And we will also grant, for your own sake, to avoid spoilers, if a question comes up and you feel like you need to abstain, and I may or may not have a couple in here to, I don't know, maybe trick you into giving us some spoilers. If you feel like you can't talk about it, just go ahead and tell us. Or tell us what you can tell us. Or whatever you need to do.
Go ahead and tell us anyway, because you're not getting out of this.
This is what your DM looks like putting up their mental shields.
So, I guess without further ado, we can jump right into it. So I want to start with a couple of questions kind of for everyone. Not specific to the Endurance campaign or the prequel arc that we're currently doing. I want to talk about just tabletop RPGs in general. And how all of us kind of found ourselves here playing a game online on stream for a couple of people, and how we all got into tabletop RPGs kind of as a whole. So I'll pick on Grant first. This question is kind of open-ended, so if you want to talk about your first experience playing D&D, if you want to talk about what made you fall in love with D&D and why you decided to continue to play it to this day, it's kind of up to you.
Well, I guess my journey with D&D started with the 3.5 edition starter set. It's why that particular version of the system is so near and dear to my heart, and why I torture all of you with it. It kind of started out as like a little family experiment that then grew to me getting the core rule books that I still have on my shoulder over there, and anyone who ever gets to see those books up close, the spines are a little messed up. The pages look like they've been rifled through about 1,000 times. But I started my first campaign, running it for some friends I knew back in the day. Within 2 years of first playing the darn thing. And what's kept me in the game has been primarily the fact that, since long before then, I've always had an interest in writing and telling stories, and this is just a way to build on that in a slightly more structured way than I sometimes approach writing.
It's interesting that you say more structured, and yet it feels so chaotic when we're in the moment.
Yeah.
But I get it. That's fair.
There's room for improv.
It's me. It's Amanda's turn. Hi. Let's see. I got into D&D because of this one, because he's been playing like way longer than me. And there were times where I would like be at his dorm and like watching him play with his online friends, and I was like, that seems like really fun and cool. And he was like, you should totally try it sometime. And he like sucked me into the next game. And then sadly that game fell off the face of the earth like shortly after. I hope it wasn't because of me.
No.
Then I think the next time I played, I did like a couple one shots here and there, and then I got sucked into this one because I was very good friends with Grant first. We worked together before all of this, and then he was like, "You're doing a stream, and we need some peeps," and I was like, "Okay." And now here I am. And I think my favorite part of D&D is character creation. I also like to tell stories, but like through characters, and I've always like just resonated with characters that I've seen in media and stuff, and I was like, I want to do that too, and like make characters that people can relate to or whatever, because I feel like that's a special feeling. So I want to make characters that other people can relate to and that I have fun playing and trauma dumping into. The end.
Emphasis on trauma dumping.
Yes.
D&D is therapy. It's free therapy.
Free therapy. It's free real estate.
Yeah. It's free. It's free real estate. Oh my god. All right. So I guess it's me. I got into D&D because of a podcast called The Adventure Zone. It's a McElroy Brothers podcast. I have one of my best friends. Shout out Caroline, back in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so far away. But we had been going on a road trip somewhere, and she was like, "Hey, you guys, you have to listen to this group. They're really funny. They're these three brothers. They're called the McElroy Brothers." And she played me some of their podcasts. They have a comedy podcast that we had listened to, and I really liked it. And I got one of my other, like my roommate at the time, into it. And then she was like, "Hey, have you listened to their other thing that they do? It's a D&D actual play." And I was like, "No, I don't know if that's... How would that, like, you just... I don't know. I guess that sounds kind of fun." And I started listening to it the, like, first day that I was working at a job in Hoboken, New Jersey, over the summer. It was my internship. I had an internship at a company that was making like content for Showtime, and I had to drive into basically almost New York City every day. So it would take 45 minutes to get into the city, and then an hour and a half to get out. And that's a long time and plenty of time for 2 podcast episodes. And I said, I guess this is a good time to listen to it. And I listened to the whole show that summer. And like the beginning of senior year of college, they finished it up. And it just like, I loved it so much. Didn't want to take New Jersey Transit. Listen. I didn't want to take NJT because when I was like one of the only, I think I was the only intern there that drove. So then they would give me, because they didn't pay us, they would give me the company card and be like, "Okay, can you go pick this thing up from Adorama? Also, get yourself lunch and you can fill up your tank with gas." And I was like, "Okay!" So it was worth it. New Jersey Transit's okay. But yeah, so I started listening to it then. My friend who had already been listening to it was like, "We should do a campaign if you think that D&D sounds fun." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds sick." I made my first character, and I was hooked. I didn't try to DM until like college, senior year. But I don't know if I have to say more than college, senior year, trying to DM a game. It didn't last. We were a little busy.
Tends to happen.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't really have a regular campaign until Grant rejoined at the time Active Galactic and was like, "You know what would be kind of a fun thing is Dungeons & Dragons stream." And I was like, that'd be kind of wild. and then I realized, oh, I can trick people into playing Dungeons and Dragons with me and make it feel like an obligation, and they won't leave. Okay.
Gotcha.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, this is all
And
been
almost
Trauma
two
dumping, trapping people in their basement.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
Yep, exactly.
And almost 2.5 years later, look where we're at.
There we go. Also, Highland Jersey. Hi, Sig. Thanks for hanging
guys.
out. Obviously,
Yeah.
we are doing a little bit different of an episode today. If you didn't
Yes.
realize, Kyle is away, so. But we still wanted to bring an episode to y'all, so we're doing a sort of fireside chat. And I'm currently looking for a nice gif of a fireplace to put in these two
Yes.
corners. So
Do
give
it.
me
Yeah.
some. But
Full
think?
send it.
how about you, Mac? How'd you get into TTRPGs?
So that goes back a long time. Oh, this makes me feel old. So I was first exposed to D&D.
I'm sorry, you're the youngest.
I
one
know.
here,
Yeah,
so don't.
I know.
The youngest one here, dude.
I am aware. I can't say shit. I know.
Yeah, baby.
I know.
Get him, Sig.
Anyway, I still feel. Anyway, so my exposure to D&D goes back to, gosh, sophomore year of high school, when I played 3.5 for the first time, and it was one of my friends had the book or bought the book and was like, let's play, and I had absolutely no fucking clue what I was doing. I didn't even read the handbook. And was like, I'm just gonna play blacksmith. That sounds cool. And he's like, that's not a class at all. So let's just try and figure this out. And we played for an hour, and it went horribly. And the best part about it was we then decided to play this little board game called Red Dragon Inn. I don't know if anyone knows the game. It is the funnest game in the world. And the whole setting, it's a drinking game with cards and abilities. And it's set in a medieval tavern, in like a fantasy tavern. And so we decided, hey, let's just play as our characters that we came up with. And it was the best night I've ever had. And then I proceeded to not play it for 3 years. And then ended up playing it in college. And when 5th edition came out, and we sat down and played that. And then I've been playing with that group now for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Almost nonstop. We've had a couple of month hiatuses here and there, but I've been playing with that same group. So then I started DMing, and now I'm in 4 campaigns. So this is, it's not a problem. So in this, so moving on to the next question, in this same kind of idea, I am very curious what your first characters all were. We'll start with you.
All right. My first ever character was a half-elf warlock, hexblade warlock, and her name was Phelan, I think. Yeah, we didn't, like I said, didn't get very far, but I remember I didn't know what I was doing, and so when they were like, all right, like, how are you going to introduce your character? I was like, I'm in a tree, and I fall out of the tree in front of everyone. And that's how she was introduced to the party. And I don't know why I decided that was the best thing. Oh, nice, I just saw the fireplace. I don't know why that was like the best thing. But that's all I remember from that campaign, honestly, because we only played like 2 times.
Yeah.
Very tragic.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but that was my first ever character. My one-shot character was an Arashari monk. That was super fun.
Named Mai.
Yeah, Mai. Yeah, that was really cool. And then I made Rudy for the holiday one shot. I think there might have been one other one in between. But yeah, so Rudy, who's kind of a precursor to Aerie, I realized after going back and watching it like a long time ago when I was bored, I was like, oh, hey, I know who this is. And then Aerie was born. Ta-da! And then there was Key.
And then
The
everything
end.
else preceding that.
Yes, and several children. I adore them all. But yeah, who's next?
I suppose I can go next because I have
I was just
honestly a
placing
little bit of.
fireplaces. Sorry.
It looks like you're in hell. 'cause
I feel like it's a little too
Oh, yeah, the
aggressive.
elbow.
I feel like it's too aggressive. I need to fix it. So give me
Can you
a
just
second.
wait, Vicky, can you just put the gif of the Elmo?
Yeah, put Elmo.
Oh yeah, you
Yes,
want that?
God,
please.
yes,
I get
yes,
that.
yes.
Give me one
That'd be
second.
amazing. While Vicky's doing that, I have kind of almost a non-answer because I don't remember my first D&D character. I know I had one during that initial game, but I've been a DM most of the time that I've played D&D, with very few exceptions. The one exception is an exception Vicky knows because Vicky was there for this one shot that Kyle ran at Scented Leaf. What's the name? His name was Smeezgi, and he kind of spoke like this. He was a otter folk monk, and a rather salty man of the sea, I do declare, and was full of stories, always going on about some adventure or other that he went on. Yes, he was delightful. I haven't played him since, unfortunately.
Okay, is it my turn? I'm also gonna be trying to put Elmo in here at the same time, so we're
You
gonna
can
have
go
to.
first if you want.
Yeah,
focus.
if you want. I can.
Elmo wants to burn things.
I think it'll only
Oh
take
my
me a
God,
sec,
that was
actually.
funny.
Hold on, wait. And here he is. Yep, we've got him. He's here.
Is that boy?
Yes!
Elmo burns
Yes!
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's here. He's here now.
Perfect.
So we're good. Okay.
Amazing,
Anyway,
incredible.
This is a very interesting
revolutionary.
fireside chat today.
I think Elmo should be there for the rest of the streams forever, somewhere, just somewhere. Like
Just
move it every
him.
time.
Really small. Like I'll put him like back
Yeah.
here somewhere.
I just want to preface this with 2 days ago we literally had a discussion about how can we make like the stream
Don't
you
come
know
for me.
just a little bit more like not professional,
Professional.
but more refined, and then we're busting this shit out. I love it.
I hope that a bunch of random people pop in today, see this, and stick around
Just-
for it.
What's going on here?
This is our vibe.
Why is
love
there a flaming Elmo?
This
Yeah.
is amazing.
Should I put like text that says like D&D fireside chat on above the like the
Yeah.
fireplace one, and then like
Absolutely.
also Elmo above that?
Yes,
I trust your own creative freedom.
Thank you.
After you've answered the question, though, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Important.
So my first character, was for that game that we started playing after I started listening to the Adventure Zone, and I have her character sheet actually over on my bookshelf right now. I
That's cool.
can't
That's
for the
really
life of
cool.
me remember her name, which is so bad, but it was, and this is going to surprise nobody. She's a tiefling rogue.
Yes.
Because of course she was.
Yeah.
And I love her to death. And somebody is honking their horn outside. I think her name was it Talia or something like that? I'm gonna check.
Okay.
But I will but yeah, she's tiefling rogue, and that I really traditional D&D, I almost exclusively play tieflings. It's a problem.
Tiefling and elf supremacy.
Hell
They're
yeah.
the best classes.
They are. They're fun.
All about my orcs.
Mhm.
Anyway.
I have played a couple magic users in the past for like shorter games and stuff, but every time I play a magic user, I have a really hard time with it. So I typically tend to go with characters that either have very little magic or no magic at all. So
That's cool.
Very cool.
Portals are superior.
portals.
You know what?
You're so freaking right.
Correct. I'm sorry. I rescind my statement. It's not true anymore. Turtle.
They're little cuties.
They are very cool. I kind of already said what my first character was. Don't remember their name whatsoever. The second one, still don't remember their name whatsoever. I just know it was a Goliath Paladin.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Kind of, set the tone.
Fair.
All right. Well, on that idea of classes and characters and things, I think it's fair to say that everyone who is here, at least the player characters that are here, chose very different classes and personalities from what we're playing in the main campaign versus the prequel campaign. I think it's a fair assumption to make. I feel like we all
because
kind
Kyle's not here, right? So.
Yeah, because Kyle's... I didn't want to say it, but...
Roast him, he's not here. I'll put his nameplate in the fire. Roast
A
him.
tiefling grave cleric. That's
that's
dope.
super cool.
Oh, that's very cool. Wait,
Also
really
nice.
quick. Let me find. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
And also, chat, feel
Awesome.
free to ask questions. You guys are invited to
Yeah,
also ask
if you guys
questions.
have anything.
So,
Yes, absolutely.
but
Okay,
that's
sweet.
really cool, Skip. I was just saying that's neat.
Brave cleric.
Just take over.
What?
Found
I'm
her.
kidding.
Huh? No, I'm not
Oh,
ready.
what is the name? What is
Her
the
name
glory?
is Winona Azarbard,
Solid.
and
Ooh,
I
nice
even
name.
drew her.
Oh,
There she is.
Yes!
It's so
My
cute.
sweet bean. Yeah.
go.
Oh,
Very cute.
memories.
That is so cool.
Hmm.
Quickly digs to find.
I had
things.
absolutely no fucking clue what I was
Sketchbook
doing.
it is. Have to
But
go
it was
through
so
70.
fun. Yeah, and then my party mates' names were Jonathan Drekthar, Cassius Horn, Keithia, Vark, and I think... Why didn't I have... There was definitely one more person that was just named like Steve.
Amazing. Iconic.
And then there was
Steve.
Steve.
I love
The
it.
hero of the realm, Steve.
It was great.
So, we've all created drastically different characters from what we play in the main campaign or in the Dawn's Horizon campaign. I'm curious what inspired us to create the characters that we're playing in both. What inspired us for the Endurance campaign, and what inspired us to kind of mix that up and come up with something a little bit more unique in the prequel arcs.
Boy.
You also have a question queued up for 9 years.
How
ago.
many
Sweet.
hours do you play the other campaigns and how many
Mhm.
people are in them? Ooh.
So
Um,
Do you want to pop off real quick, please?
I can pop off real
Go
quick.
for it.
So, the one that I've been playing the most, we play every week, and we do about 4 hours, which is always very fun. And
Are all your other
In
ones
that-
in person?
no, only one of them is in person.
Okay.
So that's one of the ones that I'm DMing. So in the one that I am a player, besides this one, we play it every week for 4 hours. Sometimes it's more. For the other two, which I'm DMing for, we play it like once a month, ish.
Mhm.
Sometimes more often than that, and we try and do 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and I DM for both of those. So,
Nice.
and then there's this one. So,
Awesome.
anyway, I'll pick on Vicky again, even though she just answered.
Okay. So,
What inspired?
what inspired my characters?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, for Georgia, that's easy because I just wanted someone as dissimilar from. Actually, you know what? For both, it's kind of easy. Go away.
I've got it.
Fan.
Thank you.
Fan.
Drop the hammer.
While Grant deals with that. Yeah, so
Boom.
for Kai.
Sorry.
Oh my god. So this is a little bit into like the inside baseball of how we like set up stream originally, but so before D&D in Space existed as a stream, we were trying to figure out a way to they're having fun now. We were trying to figure out a way to like have D&D be a thing that like we could keep doing, but that could be a weekly stream, but that did not require everyone to be there for the end of like until the end of time in perpetuity sort of thing. The way that like the other streams are, because at the time it was me and Grant and Michael that were willing to like do stream stuff, and Michael has since had to leave because he started a new degree and he's a busy boy. But like at the time Michael was like, yeah, I'll start with you guys, but I don't know how long I'm gonna stay for. and we like we wanted to have like a way for people to like join us and then leave, but we needed some sort of consistency, like or continuity through that. So Kai was going to be the continuity through that, and like so that partially made me choose the pilot thing, because it's like, well, every mission needs a pilot, so might as well. And then that also influenced a lot of her like multi-toolness, which I've unfortunately realized is also a reflection of me. So, you know, jack of all trades, master of none sort of vibe. But like she is not particularly amazing at any one thing, which I think works for the pilot skill. Like, she's great at flying, but like honestly, we don't usually do a lot of that. But she's like okay at a lot of other things, so it worked with kind of any party composition that might happen, you know. And then it ended up obviously that like by mission 4 we kind of like we had our final group. And who's to say if anybody ever wants to like guest on or something, like be happy to have Michael or Matthew back for a short campaign or something, but it feels like this is kind of our group now. But that's the origin of Kai. And then as far as her personality, the story, like her backstory and stuff, I feel like influences a lot of her personality, and that came from, I don't know, I think I was just at work and I was just thinking about it, and I got her backstory and sent it to Grant, and I was like, I think this is who she is. Yeah. And then Georgia, I just wanted to be as different from Kai as possible, because inherently, when you make someone that is supposed to be the through line continuity person through all these missions, there is a little bit of that main character syndrome that you start to get. I don't want that, because that sucks. So I was like, I want someone who is quieter, who is more of a support, like who is there to like do a job and do that job very well, and let other people do the talking and do the fun stuff. So that's why I made Georgia.
So, rounding another question at Vicky, because I had this one prepared for earlier, and it's just really easy to slip this in here.
Okay.
Georgia and Kai are so different.
Yeah.
And you've talked a little bit about the stress that you feel playing Kai, who is kind of the leader of the endurance campaign. Is it more or less stressful to play Georgia, where you are kind of relinquishing a lot of that control and leadership to others?
I am. This feels a little like therapy, Mac. No,
Yes.
I'm kidding. I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to a lot of things. I mean, there's a reason that the Cryptid Cape podcast has one creator, producer, editor, writer. We can keep going. But then a lot of actors. So I do like I don't know. I generally struggle with like making sure. I just worry a lot that about the balance of like fun things. Is everybody having fun? You know, stuff like that. So I think with Georgia, it's a little bit less stressful. It's I don't know. It's like I worry about different things. Because like with Georgia, I worry about like I can kind of sit back and let you guys have some fun, like do a lot of the leading and stuff, which is nice. And like I don't have to worry about the like figuring out the mysteries as much, because Georgia has been kind of engineered as a character that is like in the way that Brick is, much more bronze than brain, and I love her dearly. But then I can just kind of like have fun and like punch things when you guys need me to punch things. But then Kai, I worry that Kai is smarter than I am, and so therefore figuring out puzzles and stuff is like a thing that she would be able to do that I can't sometimes, and there's like that stress. I don't know. But then there's also the stress of like, don't be the main character. It's a lot. It's fun. We have a good time. And then the whole time I'm trying to find music selections in the background.
Yes.
I don't know how you do it, man.
It's fun. It's a good time.
I think you play both of them very, very well, and they're both awesome to play with.
Well, thank you.
So
That's the goal.
They're a lot of fun to DM.
That's the goal. I just want everybody to have a good time. You guys, chat, etc. The chat would not believe the amount of conversations we've had of like, but is it gonna be entertaining though? Like, is chat gonna like it? Like, happens a lot.
Yeah.
Put somebody else in the hot seat.
So, what inspired Keith and Ari?
Let's see. Have y'all ever heard of a little show called Demon Slayer? No. So that's where part of Ari came from. He has many parts put into him. But there's a character from this anime called Demon Slayer, if you are not familiar with it, and his name is Zenitsu, and he's very anxious. That's all I can say. He's a lot more over the top about it than Ari is, but I just like have always just loved that kind of character, probably because I too am an ancient boy, very ancient. But anyway, so I took a lot of that and put it into Ari, and since it was like my first D&D character, I was like, I want to play something I'm familiar with. Wow, this is getting like incredibly real. Anyway, it was like, I want to put something I'm familiar with into it, and I was like really nervous about playing D&D like consistently because all the ones I was a part of like didn't really work out, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, if I just play a quiet, nervous character, everything will be fine. And it was fine, and it was cool. And Ari actually has grown a lot more into his own character than I originally planned him to be, which has been really fun because I think the characters, like, we make the character, but the character writes themselves like over the course of playing, which I think is really neat. And also I like D&D. But that's Ari, and then mine is pretty much the opposite. I was like, as I got more confident with the game, I was like, man, I would really like to role play, and I want to be like a little more out there, because I was struggling for a little bit with Ari because I was like, okay, he's like too quiet, so I feel like I don't know how to respond to things sometimes, because I'm like, Ari wouldn't just like deal with this or like say this or do this. So I was like, okay, let's make a character that I think I could have a lot of fun with, that could be impulsive, because Ari started being a little bit impulsive, and I was like gravitating towards that, and I was like, okay, that's really fun. What if I just made a character that was like just total stark opposite? And that's how Keith was born. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Keith didn't really have much like inspiration, except for just like I wanted to make him as different as possible from Ari. Except also, I'm gonna put myself on blast right now. If y'all have heard of another little show, unfortunately, called Voltron. Don't do it if you haven't watched it. Don't do that to yourselves. There is a character in that show named Keith, and that is where his name came from, because he was who I was hyper focused on at the time. So I was like, I'm just gonna
Iconic.
take that. That's mine now.
I love it. I love it.
So, yeah, and
Excuse me.
I don't know. This is not a spoiler, but he is like turning into kind of my own Anakin Skywalker of sorts. Like, as I have built his story, y'all see why over the course of like, I don't know, 10 years. We'll see when we get there. No. But yeah, I don't know, Keith's a lot of fun.
So,
I don't know if did that answer the question? Yeah, I think so.
why did you pick Pilot for Keith?
Because I always play casters. Every single camp, except for the monk, I guess. But like, I've always played casters, always played characters that I wanted to be like in the middle, like rear end, ready to go fight. And I was like, I think I want to challenge myself and play like a normie guy. So, that's honestly why I picked Pilot. And because, I don't know, piloting sounded fun. Amanda would be, no, I wouldn't be a pilot. I just want to go fast. My brain goes fast, so I want to put that into something that goes fast. So that's why I'm Lynn Jersey, Keith serial dater. Don't know where that came from. It just kind of, like I said, the characters write themselves.
Was that planned at all, or did we just kind of force that upon you as Keith?
I think it wasn't it like somebody said something about him like dating around during the like in between years. and then we
Yes.
just glommed onto that.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did have this like idea of him being like a Han Solo of sorts, you know, kind of like just like the hotshot pilot. He's really attractive and cool. Everybody likes him, even though he's full of shit a lot of the time. Um, so that was part of his lore, and I did build that into him, but it has grown exponentially. And I mean, I thought it was really fun, so we just kept rolling with it.
I love it.
And there's the sorry.
No.
I was gonna say there was also the bit that made it super canon for me, where in the first prequel arc at the very end, when they were like, "What are y'all doing?" and I was like, "He's gonna go make friends." I genuinely meant friends. There were maybe some girlfriends in there, but with that high of a roll, Grant had me high. What was the roll you made me roll? Like a percentile or something?
Percentage of who you ended up being friends with.
Yeah.
essentially.
And I got like 83 or 86% with the ship, and I was like, okay, this is locked in now. So, yeah.
I love it.
So, I guess I should speak too. Okay. So
Where did Brick spring from?
So Brick sprung from another character I played in a different campaign, who was originally named Buddy, who was a half-orc barbarian who was as dumb as a rock and very much in the way of Brick, was like involved in an underground fighting arena and just decided to leave one day. And his whole story was that the people that were a part of this criminal syndicate were constantly after him. He didn't understand why. He just thought they were like trying to catch up and like see him again because they were friends. And so when Grant I know, when Grant approached Amanda and I to join this campaign, I sat there and thought, okay, I have a couple of options. I can make a character that I would really want to play, like a psionic class, but we already had Leaf, and he told us that we kind of needed a frontline, so my mind immediately went to, or I can give this amazing gift to my party mates and create the comic relief character, which I love playing.
He's amazing.
And that's how Brick was made, because I thought that stream and that you guys would enjoy him, and I liked playing him.
I mean,
yeah.
I live and die for the main cast, but Brick is just something special.
He is a joy to play, and it's nice to be able to turn my brain off sometimes. As I'm sure Vicky now is also enjoying with Georgia.
Oh my
It's
god.
fantastic.
It's very stressful.
And Eisen is the character that I do typically play. But he came about in a bit of an interesting way. It's a funny story. I was a horrible player. Grant came to all of us and said, hey, yeah, we're going to do this prequel arc. Let's design all of our characters around Wadsworth, because he's going to be kind of the focus of the plot. So let's all know him. And it was a week before we were going to start streaming, and we all met up one day, and Grant's like, hey, Mac, have you come up with the character yet? And I'm like, yep. He goes,
You
okay.
lied.
You're gonna no, I didn't actually say no. I told him I did not.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, okay, you're gonna be playing a fleet officer, and you're gonna be one of Wadsworth's friends in his command school. And I'm like, okay.
Friends.
We decided it was gonna be a charisma character, or a charisma-based class, because we made fleet officer. It doesn't exist in D20 Modern or anything else, and it's basically a bard. And so I thought, okay, how do I put a spin on charisma? Because I don't want to play a Keith. No offense, but it's just not the kind of character I enjoy playing.
Keep
And
sorry.
charisma is this very interesting stat in D&D where it's like it's your physical embodiment of your personality and how the world perceives you. It's kind of weird that it's like sometimes so potent you can cast magic with it. It's a weird idea to think about. And so I went down the route of Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss, kind of, where it's like, okay, someone who is so in tuned with how people think and how to present themselves in the world, they're a little manipulative in how they go about it and do it. and he has a little bit of sociopathic tendencies, if you guys have caught on to that, and still tries to care for his friends, though he might not understand really what that means, but he knows he would die for them, kind of thing. And
It
yeah.
makes for fun banter.
It makes for fun.
It's very good.
Oh yeah.
Do we want me to do an overview of the differences in my characters between the two?
I mean,
Go for it, Grant.
I mean,
Do the ones you like relate to the
Yeah,
most or
like
something.
the
what-
main kids.
I'll rephrase this. What is your favorite NPC?
Do you have a
We can do
favorite?
each.
Oh,
We can do
Oh.
we can do from both campaigns.
already.
And what
Who's
Linda,
God's
introduce
favorite
her.
princess?
Who's God's
What do
favorite
you mean?
princess? Yes.
It's hard to beat the magic that is Artie. I mean, are you kidding me? The moment I turn on this voice, I just become our friendly little murder robot.
that being said, Artie is probably the most fun character to play in the main campaign. As far as actual favorite character, that one's really hard for me to choose because I like a lot of these NPCs.
You also don't want any of
Um,
us to be mad at you. Because Amanda and I have vested interest in several of these.
Let's just answer the question.
Who's your
Grant.
favorite? No, I'm kidding.
I'll kind of touch on all of them without going too deep. I like Zen because of how genuine he is. I like Carta because of how genuine and how much fun she is to play when she's just poking Aerie and getting him flustered. I really enjoy playing Satsi because Satsi is seeing a lot of this stuff for the first time, is very much a character who is part of this found family, and at the same time, even though she's seeing things with what's the word I'm looking at? Even though she's seeing things from the point of view of someone who is actually on the younger end for the majority of the cast, in that story, she's also been through some shit, and that's some stuff that you guys are slowly beginning to unlock about her. So I like all of them in their own ways. And there's also Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Thaddeus is fun for comic relief.
Great.
As far as the prequel cast goes, one of the things I really enjoy is developing Wadsworth as a character, and building the complexity of who this person is before we met him in the main campaign, and to an extent, maybe telling the story in the main campaign of him remembering himself. So Waddy is easily one of my favorite characters. And honestly, all of the X's for Keith have kind of gone up there because they're fun. Especially Marie, who is just... My concept for Marie is, okay, what if Carta had no filter?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what if she really just liked jabbing the person that she was with at one point? That's Marie. Marie is off the walls, a little crazy, but crazy in a lot of good ways. And still someone who's very much got your back when it comes down to it. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Robin, because Robin is one of those characters in the prequel arcs that initially I didn't expect to even show up. I think Amanda and I kind of just created her one day when we were chatting about Keith, obviously, and to an extent, Robin's fun because first she makes fun of Keith, and whenever we get to make fun of Keith, that's fun. But also
Very
there's
fun.
but also there's the added level of this is someone who knows exactly what she wants, and she's seen something in Keith that she likes. And more than just the surface level that everybody sees, and that would make a lot of people question her choice. Yeah, those are the characters that I have the most fun playing. As far as overall choice goes, I've designed a lot of the NPCs in the background for both parts of the campaign to be based on what you would expect to see. For the prequel, they're all human. You guys, with the exception of the entities, have encountered no non-humans, which means that's an opportunity for me to kind of give you an idea of what human culture looks like at this time and where it's headed before Endurance happens. Endurance, I just get to have fun and come up with every random thing, and the main challenge I face is not falling to the Planet of the Hats trope where every species is good at one thing or just wears a single hat. I try to make them generally multifaceted if I can.
Yeah. Cool. So, one last general question about...
Oh, that's a banger.
Wait,
Oh.
actually, yeah, wait.
Okay,
I was
Eric.
gonna, that reminded me, I was going to, when you guys were talking about Brick and Airy, I wanted to bring up, specifically, I mean, that question that Lynn Jersey just asked, or any backstory of Brick and Airy's friendship, but also, you guys are fans of Critical Role,
Yes.
and there are some characters in there that, when I watched Legend of Vox Machina, which if y'all are watching on stream right now and have not watched Legends of Vox Machina, you should. It's really, really, really good.
Fantastic.
It's really good.
Yes.
But there's a couple characters in there where
Yes.
I immediately was like, oh, this totally reminds me of Brick and Airy. But was that intentional?
I would be lying if I wasn't trying to rip off Grog.
I'm not gonna tell
Especially-
them. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right now is like,
Yes.
We don't stream on Thursdays anymore. It's okay.
Uh-huh.
We're not competition anymore.
I am a massive fan of Travis Willingham, both as a player on Critical Role and as a voice actor, and just as a person.
Mhm.
And when I discovered that we have a similar vocal range, it, just kind of became a thing where I could figure out, I can do a little bit of a Grog, and then that morphed a little bit into Brick,
Mhm.
and it was fun.
I had the same experience as you, Vicky, though, because we played Brick and Airy before I watched Legends of Vox Machina.
really?
And I went in
Mhm.
and I watched it and I was like the Spider-Man move. I was like, hey, wait
Wait a
wait a
minute.
minute.
Wait a second.
Hold on. I mean, I knew he had based Brick off of Grog,
Yeah.
but I didn't know about Pike or anything. And there was even elements of, it's fine, of like Percy's story that I was like, uh-oh.
And you had no clue.
And I had no clue. And I was like, oopsies, sorry.
Yeah.
I love Percy.
Everything's
Percy's
a
great
remix.
character.
Mm-hmm.
But Vax.
Vax is great.
Vax-
Vax is
Oh.
a wonderful. For those that have watched all of Critical Role, Vax is a wonderful story, and I love him to death.
I just... I cannot sign up for the amount of hours that they have poured into that first campaign. I will,
Yeah.
however, I will be foaming at the mouth waiting for season 3 of Vox Machina until it comes out.
About to pop off.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention
yeah.
20 bits myself because they have shorter seasons.
Yeah.
And I also love them to death. Oh my god. It's so good.
We'll get to Brick and Airy's backstory a little bit. We'll touch on that and answer Lynn Jersey's question in a bit. But I want to ask one more kind of broader topic about the game as a whole and about the stream as a whole. So this is kind of mostly for Grant and Vicky because we weren't around when this decision was made. And we've talked a lot about how we're using kind of a modified system of a tabletop RPG. I don't even know if D20 Modern qualifies as Dungeons and Dragons because it's kind of a different name. It's loosely based off of 3.5. And then we've taken that, or I should say you guys have taken that another step further and turned it into something that's more of a
I'm sorry.
Starfinder-esque thing. So I'm very curious as to why this is the system that you guys chose to play with on stream. Was this kind of due to the OGL fiasco that Wizards had a couple of years ago? Is it loosely related to that? And why was like something like Starfinder not chosen? And why did you decide to create kind of your own Frankenstein of a system for us to play with?
So I'm gonna, before I pass it off to Grant, because he has a lot more to say about this, two things. One, if you saw me get startled for a second, it's because I forgot the timer light that I left on is still active, and so my light turned on in the corner of the room, and I thought there was a ghost. But
I just that was like hello.
Two, so fun lore about Astronomy Arcade when it was at the time Teach Astronomy. So it was technically, so it was a thing that we started doing because the pandemic happened and we were all like, fuck, and I had nothing to do, so I had pitched the idea of a Twitch channel to Matthew and Chris. And if you guys are new here, Matthew and Chris are the original people that Grant and I worked for. I still technically kind of work for them. I have many jobs. It's fine. But like I was like, we should do a Twitch channel because it's an easier path. We've been doing YouTube forever, but it's an easier path to actual monetization, and it's a better format for a lot of the stuff that we were wanting to do. And I was like, let's add other astronomy things. And I had been doing that for... Grant, when did you rejoin AGV?
I think it was 2021.
Oof. I was doing that for a year and a half then already, I think. Is that right? I don't know, man.
Probably, yeah. A little more than a year and a half.
2019.
No, I started in 2020. Summer of 2020. No, September of 2020. And then we started D&D stream February of 2022.
Almost a year and a half, yeah.
A year and a half. Okay. I was... Listen, now, this comes with the caveat of I love astronomy and I think it's very interesting, and I love my boyfriend who's in the other room who is an astronomer, and it's great and it's amazing and it's wonderful and I love it and I love the people that we work with and it's great. I was so fucking burnt out on the astronomy shit. I needed to do something else. It was killing me. And Grant came up with this lovely idea of D&D on stream, and I said, that sounds great. However, if we have it under the Teach Astronomy umbrella, it has to still be educational. And so that was the part where I was like, can you make it in space? Like... And then Grant was like, actually, I have something in mind already.
Oh, can I? Is it me now?
Yeah, it's you now.
Okay, well, I think I pitched the idea middle of fall 2021 to Vicky, and once I got the go-ahead, I spent the next 2-3 months putting together the Frankenstein's monster of a system that we use. I used a lot of 3.5, a lot of D20 Modern. I also, speaking of Starfinder, I did use Starfinder for the ship-to-ship rules that are being modified as we go. And I also, for house rules, borrowed some stuff from 5th edition, and a little... I also considered borrowing some stuff from Fantasy Flight Games' Star Wars role-playing game, which Beck and Amanda played with me very briefly at one point. So essentially that's the mixture of things I smushed together to get us D&D in space, because while 3.5 is useful, it has fantasy and Renaissance medieval times level technology and world settings. D20 Modern brought it into the modern age and allowed me to start figuring out how to incorporate vehicles, how to incorporate technology like computers, how to expand the arsenal and technology available to the characters beyond sword and sorcery, essentially. And then from there, Starfinder allowed me to get a pretty good handle on how to streamline D20 Modern's Starship combat. Because fun fact, D20 Modern has a system for Starship combat. It operates on a 500-foot square. It is so much clunkier than what we use now. So that being said, that's kind of where it came from. As far as actual rules for, say, the planets and the stuff that environmentally we have encountered, I draw some of it from the D20 Modern system, some of it, or at least a lot more of it, from Starfinder, because both actually have rules for radiation, extreme heat, extreme cold, and creating diseases and stuff like that, which was very useful in Mission 2. The rest of the work over that couple of months was putting together essentially the beginnings of the player's handbook we use now, so that when I finally handed things off to Vicky, Kyle, and Michael, I could say, here you go, here are the rules, let's get together at some point, answer any questions you have, and make your characters. And essentially how it started.
Nice. And we enjoy it. It's very fun. So thank you both.
Yes. Yeah, Amanda and Mac were, I'll expose myself a little bit. Like I said, I'm a control freak. And when we found out that Michael was going to be leaving eventually, and also wasn't like, he enjoyed D&D, but he's definitely a much more like combat focused player as far as games go than like like us and Leaf. Kyle, hold on, is whoa.
Same person.
Yeah.
And it's like Kyle, Leaf, Atlas, Kyle.
It's just a circle. It's just a circle. But it's I had thought that like the three of us were like a pretty solid party, and I was like worried because like Michael was leaving, but I'm like, okay, well Michael has to leave, all right, whatever. And I was like, we've got to find other people. And I was so nervous. And Grant was like, I have some friends, Mac and Amanda. They're really cool. I think they'd be good. And I was like, okay, I'm nervous. And I am, no joke, I love y'all so much. Like, I'm just so happy that Grant was like, listen to me, it's gonna be good, okay? Chill the fuck out.
Ricky. That's very sweet. I get it. I would have been nervous too if it was like my baby. I would feel the same and be like, "Are you sure about that?"
Yeah.
Like,
but like within a few weeks, I was like, "Oh shit, okay, this is it. Like this is this is cool." Ideal D&D group. As I say, when I say at the end, best people in the world to play a D&D with, it is not an exaggeration. This is not a lie.
starts crying on stream. Hold on.
There were sharks in the second campaign. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
We were chased by sharks.
Oh, I have a sort of funny
Matthew
story
literally
about this.
wrestled a shark.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You have a funny story?
Yeah, so while you guys were playing that, I was friends with Grant before I joined on, but you guys were already playing. And he was showing me all of the evil plans he had for session 2 or mission 2 or whatever. And he was like, guess what I'm gonna do? And I was like, what? And he's like, check this out. And he like pulls out almost like a scroll. And he's like, these are diseases. And these are the levels of the diseases. And I was like, man, rip those people.
Bastard.
Not knowing it was gonna be you guys. So it was really funny. I got a taste of Grant as a DM before I knew he was even gonna be my DM. Before I even knew Vicky or Kyle. So it's kind of funny to like look back in hindsight. Like,
I love it. It's so funny.
yeah, Grant is Elmo. And yeah.
No, he uses that GIF way too much in our private chat.
Yeah.
He does.
It's actually a little terrifying.
Spam.
It's either that or the Emperor. I have
Yeah.
no choice.
Yeah, the Emperor's a good one.
So before we get too far away from it, Lynn Jersey's question about our backstory together. So Brick and Airy have about as much backstory as Kai and Leaf do that we've kind of discussed over the course of making them. We discussed it a little bit on stream and a little bit in that little backstory sesh that we did. Gosh, months ago,
Mhm.
where we figured out what exactly happened to us on the Endurance and why we were taken out of cryostasis and all that.
Yeah.
But basically, Brick was a part of the Space Yakuza and was their muscle and didn't quite realize that. A friend of his who was Captain Robin, who was the captain of the Blackthorn, am I remembering that correctly?
The Hawthorne.
Hawthorne, thank you. Was friends with him, decided to get him out of the situation. He got involved with the cult that Aerie was a part of,
3 rings.
the Three Rings. We now know them as House Connor, or at least they have descended from the beliefs of House Connor in some way. We don't know. Aerie helped you get out of there? Whoa. Brick
I helped myself.
Aerie
No, I did not.
get out of there because they weren't being very nice to you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's deserved, Vicky. Yeah. I mean Kai, I mean Georgia, I mean shit. And we found ourselves joining up with the Endurance campaign.
Mhm.
I thought that was the mute button. My bad.
Sorry.
Eh.
I'm just gonna go now. It's fine. Bye.
Is there anything I missed in that little recap?
I was gonna give Aries side.
Yeah, please do.
But I gotta calm down first. 'Cause it's funny hell.
Iconic.
Yes, truly. Anyway, yeah, so, we all know that, Aerie has this great friend, entity, if you will, attached
Roommate.
to his,
You know.
him. Yeah, mental roommate,
Best of
didn't ask
friendo.
for this. And the Three Rings were interested in him for whatever evil reasons, we don't know. I have to redact something, sorry guys. They're basically trying to get a response. They know that Aerie was either susceptible to, and Grant, if I'm giving away too much, you can just punch me. They knew he was either susceptible to this
That's right.
entity,
Just fucking
slash
deck
he
me.
already had it in him. So they were basically like pushing Aerie, like psionically, exhausting him, to like get a response, in a sense. And so, it sucked. And then I don't know if it was ever established if I didn't have a guy before Brick or not, or if something happened to the guy before Brick. But they basically, oh no, I remember now. No, I do.
What?
Aerie tried to escape one time, and they were like, not again. And so then that's how they found Brick, and they were like, hey, big BB guy over here,
Yep.
you gotta watch over this kid, okay? Make sure you don't run out.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Brick, being the treasure that he is, was like, cool, and would hang out with Aerie all the time, basically, except for when they took Aerie away to do whatever. And it was literally as simple as, like, Brick made Aerie laugh, which, like, has never happened before, because Brick is Brick, and so they, like, got pretty close that way, and Brick almost, in a sense, became a safe place for Aerie while he was in this place, cult, whatever. And then one time Brick was just, Aerie was just talking to Brick, and Brick was like, why don't you just leave? Aerie's like,
Just go,
I
man.
can't? What are you talking about? And then,
See?
yeah, and basically that's exactly how we escaped, was Brick was like, bet, and like ripped the door off. Like, just took Aerie with him, and Aerie was having a panic attack.
I
about
love
it
the no
entire time.
warning. Like, you want to go? We can go.
Yeah.
Wait.
So, that's how that happened, and then we know the rest from the backstory, like, but yeah, so, Brick was Aerie's first, like, safe space, like, first person he ever, like, talked to, really, and, like, Brick was the first person that ever, like, heard him out, so Aerie was like, okay, I guess kind of like this guy, and Brick is Brick, and made him feel safe and funny and happy and good things. But anyway, that is it. That is the story. Yes, good job. Whoa, friendship. Maybe what is it? It was the friends we made along the way. That was the treasure.
The treasure was a friend we made along the way.
All right.
All right.
Moderator.
So now, let's go ahead and move into some more specific questions about the prequel campaign, the specific arc of the prequel campaign. To be specific, since we are going to be wrapping it up in the next couple of sessions, I figured this would be a somewhat good time to talk about some of our burning questions about them, some of the things that we may want to go into further detail on, and some questions that I know I've personally had. And we'll start with a question that Amanda personally had.
Amanda.
And I wrote this down in all caps.
Oh, yeah.
Why did it take 6 years for Wads in Georgia to go on a date?
I was like, wait, what did I say?
Why you come for me like that?
I panicked. I'm sorry.
That's so fucking funny. Because George is a nervous little bean. I don't know. She's like... I think Georgia is the kind of person... Okay, her and Kai are similar in this way. And I would say that I am not actually similar to either of them in this way. Of I don't like... I'm a very forward person. For the record, I asked Aiden out when we first started dating. Because I am an impatient bitch. And
so we going out or what? No, I'm
right,
sorry.
exactly. So Georgia and Kai are not. So like, it was a very I thought it was funny if Georgia the whole time is like, yeah, I like him, but like, he probably doesn't like me, so like, it's fine. I'll just like, I'm not gonna do anything about it. And then like, 6 years later. Time. Also, I think Georgia was dealing with, the death of her father, and not death.
You didn't know.
We kind of left off on
Assumed
that.
death.
Assumed death. Yeah,
but like that and like everything else that was happening, it never felt like a good time, sort of thing. And also, like Grant and I had talked about it, and we were like, did they have anything before that? And I'm like, no, I think it's funny if. Also, Grant had plot plans, so. He was like, oh, it'd be so funny if we had, like, their first date on... And I was like, that sounds fucking hilarious, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would also add that kind of the way that this is best illustrated is the fact that when they were rolling opposite each other multiple times, to notice even a hint of interest at the beginning of this arc... The dice made it obvious how things had been going. So presumably they'd been rolling exactly the same way the entire time. Or at least that's, as the GM, how I would convey
like,
that.
Why, in Wadsworth's perspective, why didn't he do it sooner? Yes, a little bit of Keith is coming out right now. Why? No, I want to get in the head of the characters. Cool.
I think from Waddy's point of view, it's because first he's known her a good chunk of his life, so there's that. And he's grown to really respect and admire Georgia for who she is. Now, Waddy is also, in a lot of ways, not very good at expressing that, as we've seen, except when he really forces himself to. And
they're two nervous. They're two nervous little peas in a pod. Neither of them's gonna do jack shit.
Exactly. So he over the course of the years between, he's probably almost worked himself up to asking her out, but chickened out at the last moment. Because Waddy is classically bad at this. And also there's the fact that I think in his mind, the other part of the equation is, oh, she's my best friend. I don't want to make this weird and completely destroy everything. Why? No, not worth it. Nope. And that's essentially it. Until finally, with enough, poking from Keith and everybody else,
You're welcome.
one thing one thing led to another, and he ended up asking her out. Finally.
Very proud of you.
Also, who doesn't like a slow burn?
Yeah, true.
I live off of those. Oof.
On the topic of D&D romance,
Oh no.
I'm curious between you and Grant, how much did you guys plan Keith's exes?
Oh.
How much of this was a conversation between the two of you guys? How much of this was Grant like just pulling it out randomly and surprising you? Like what was the input and how did you guys come up with this?
They were developed over
I think
many conversations.
Yeah, I think it started with us talking about, okay, what is Keith's dating life like? Because we'd come up with Robin beforehand, before we started talking about them. It's just like, okay, but we need something else to go with this. And I think Kat first showed up without a name when I just started pretending to voice this semi-ditzy character who just walked up to Keith and said, Keefy! And it just kind of spiraled out of control from there.
Yeah, and we just decided to have a lot of fun with it, and we were like coming up with all these different types of people that he would have been with, aka the 9 X's were born. There are more than that, but these are the X's we're going to see on stream. Yeah, it was over the course of a while. I knew they were going to show up. I didn't know in what order, I didn't know when or how, so it was a surprise on my end every time they came up.
So you guys came up with their personalities and such together? Is that kind of what these conversations were?
Sort of, like we came up with the idea of them, and then I was like, have fun, Grant. Like,
Okay.
I sent it over and like, yeah.
I think the only one of the X's that, or two of the X's that Amanda had a lot of thoughts about were Sam and Sam, who was the waitress who is in recovery right now. And I think it was Sam and Alex, I think.
Yeah, that's because Amanda's in love with Alex, but that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
all of the other ones were me just having a little too much fun. I mean, we did bounce the idea of Marie off of each other quite a bit, but that was mostly improv.
Yeah. Also, fun fact.
Lynn Jersey, you think I haven't already?
Wait, give me this
So
playlist.
true.
I need it.
So true. It's all up here.
Yesterday, dude.
It's all in Vicky's mind.
I have songs for all our bitches. Like I have. It's obscene. It is obscene how many playlists I have with mainly Taylor songs for these fuckers.
Good stuff.
It's crazy. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, I was going to say, Harper.
So Harper was not originally Kai's great grandmother. She originally was like this, like just super like rich bitch kind of like made her like that. And then Grant was like, I'm gonna mess with Vicky.
You fucker, of course.
And so he asked me if that was okay, and I was like, that sounds really funny.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Establishing it is fully canon. There were no children, no lines crossed or lineages. I did do that, but we did not recreate. So, a fun little tidbit for you there. Harper was not originally intended to be connected to Kai, but ended up being that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Sam, the first X we encounter, or was she the third? Did the store came after?
Third, technically, I think, right? Or
Third.
fourth?
The X's are as follows. It was Kat and Scarlet, Keefy and Angry Keefy, as I've nicknamed them.
Yeah.
Then there was Josephine.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's
and
right.
then you guys met Sam.
And then Sam.
Right.
So, Sam, was she always meant to miss that final fight? or was that kind of a repercussion of our own actions? And what would that have looked like? Would she have been another like powerful psionic channel, or what would it have changed?
Was she meant to be dead, Grant?
Sam could have suffered no harm whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It depended on how events ended up unfolding in that diner. Now, that being said, mechanically, what I had planned for her, she was going to be the support character in the final fight. They would have had healing and shields.
Okay.
So
Bless
it
up
could
for
have been
Sam getting severely
so
injured,
much
honestly.
worse.
Bless up for Sam almost
Oh.
dying.
Thanks, Sam.
Oh.
Dang.
The real MVP.
Rip.
No,
Anyway.
she's fine. She ain't dead yet.
That's interesting.
Yet.
So, this is one of the questions, Grant, that may or may not be a bit spoilerish. I warn you in advance.
I know that. And you see needs.
Was it
Yes.
always the intention for the entity to have control over specifically Keith's exes?
Yes.
Yes.
Is now.
I don't think
what
you're
I've
gonna
told
get
you
more
previously.
than that.
I mean-
I know.
I mean,
remember what I've
I didn't know this either.
remember what I've told you previously. You can you know. Is there a reason for that we're gonna find out, or is that just you fucking with us and we're leaving a red herring?
There is actually a mechanical reason why, or well, just a lore reason why. That is for you guys to discover.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So,
Moving.
moving on. Speaking of the entities as a whole, we did notice that you changed up the voice of the entity that we are encountering in the prequel arc versus the one that is in Ares' head. And even the voice of Rima is different, and is even different when she speaks to us psionically. So, is that to assume that all three of these entities are different people, different things, different beings? Or is it simply just to delineate them across story?
It is meant to show them as separate beings.
Interesting.
Because the entity that you guys encountered, and I may not have been fully clear on it, but the entity you guys encountered at the end of the Trial of Darkness was not the one that took over Rima. And it's certainly not the one that's in Ares' head.
Really? Okay. I had always assumed that it was related to that one in some way.
There are some things that you can learn about them, specifically how they are potentially aware of each other.
Okay.
Beyond that, I really can't say much else.
You see a little lore there. Okay. So, a question for Amanda.
Hello.
We saw a very big change in demeanor that Keith experienced. And it began kind of right as things were falling apart in our little stealth mission,
Oh my
and
God.
definitely escalated once he realized Wads was missing.
Mhm.
Was this just his instincts as an older brother? Was it his concern that House Connor was doing something? Was it all of the above? What exactly was fueling that mentality, and where was Keith's mentality at with that change?
Honestly, it was kind of a layering effect at first. So he was already super stressed out about the fact that they all got shot at in a restaurant, and felt like he couldn't really do anything, and like he was trying to help like Robin and Sam, and obviously he failed those roles, so that stressed him out, and he was like, I have to do something, and he was worried about leaving the restaurant because he didn't want to abandon all of you guys or what was happening. So that already put him up a notch. And then the whole weird I have powers now question mark thing was also in the back of his head. And then there was the heist, which hilarious, amazing. Amanda enjoyed every single moment of that, but he did not like it, and he was already super stressed about those other things, and he was like, now I have to go see somebody who I hate very much. Like, Harper was not a good person, man. He had to crawl on his knees to get something he needed from her. And then of course, you know, yeah, like you hear, well, there was also the bike. The bike got destroyed, and that killed him.
Pour one out for the bike.
Yeah,
Golly.
drink one for the bike, man. Grant, I expect another one.
It's empty.
So, yeah, and then, you know, you hear that your brother has gone missing while all this was happening. That just sent him over the edge.
Fair.
Yeah, and then finding out that it was House Connor who was involved, or was presumed to be involved at the time, he didn't know, that's why he got so, like, aggressive towards them. And also just, like, everything that's happened in his life and the other kids involving House Connor, he was just, like, sick of it at that point. And, you know, like, as we know, Wadsworth is literally, like Keith said, all that he has left of his family. So he couldn't afford to lose his brother. Like, and honestly, he would have acted that way if it was any of you guys who got kidnapped. But I think it was a little bit more because it was his brother. Yeah. So he's just very, very stressed and very, very irritated, and he's not good at regulating his emotions. So, yeah.
Also encompassing his inner Han Solo and shooting first, is that?
I guess so. I guess Han Solo did inspire him. I'm just noticing that now. I didn't mean for that, but yeah. I guess that answers it.
Okay.
Got a Lynn Jersey question.
That is an
Yes.
excellent.
Grant, did anything during the game go way different than you thought it would? Obviously, things go different a lot of the time, but anything that was like a wild wrench in the works?
Well, Sam obviously was one thing that went differently than I expected it to. What else? I think
You can extend it to whole campaign if you want to.
I think I might have to, because a lot of what you did in this arc of the prequel wasn't completely unforeseeable. There were, of course, surprises along the way. There always are. That's the nature of D&D. But the general
predictable, Grant.
no.
That was a long
I'm
hesitation,
saying
but-
that I had contingencies, and I didn't have to go that far out of the box in order to manage things.
Don't let
I would
Kyle
say
know,
that-
or he's gonna work harder to make
I was
your
about
life
to, I
harder.
was about to say, pretty much during the main campaign, anytime.
Until Leaf does anything.
Actually, no. Yes. Anytime Leaf, Atlas, Kyle, anytime anyone in that sphere of influence does anything, I know it's going to be chaos. It's going to be something out of left field that I haven't even thought of, and I just have to brace myself and be ready for whatever's coming next. There was actually one thing, and it is Atlas related, and it's the appearance the appearance and many abilities of Marty.
Oh yeah, Marty's great.
Marty is
Good
great.
cat.
Yes.
And the fact that
very
I
good.
completely forgot that as a scientist, Atlas can just pull all sorts of stuff out of his bag of tricks, including apparently a wind-up teddy bear that's an explosive.
Yeah.
Incredible icon.
So that did surprise me. That element really did surprise me. I think the only other thing that typically surprises me, though, especially during this arc, was just my plans have to change when my NPCs don't roll well, and the guy in power armor that Georgia had to face did not roll well. That fight was supposed to be a lot longer and a lot more fraught. It was not.
Good job, Jordan.
Sort of follow-up question to this. And I'm taking the blame for this as the fleet officer of the group. Had Eisen not totally fucked up and just left Atlas and Robin out in the middle of the beach randomly, what would have happened? What was your contingency of that, of having Robin appear in the room with us, being under the control of the entity?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
I had a couple of contingencies, actually. One was if she'd actually followed you through all the way there. When you guys walked in, she would have come under its control and walked away from you and joined the group. That was pretty much the main contingency. If you'd left her alone, the same thing would have happened. If she hadn't even been there, she would have arrived with some of the others. Those were kind of my main contingencies. And Robin ended up having to be a contingency in her own right for that final encounter, because obviously Sam wasn't there.
Yeah. Interesting. So the last question that I have prepared is for Vicky.
Yes.
So we know that Georgia is assigned to guard Atlas.
Yeah.
Does she enjoy her job?
Listen. Georgia loves Atlas to death. She is a stressed bean, and I think it was probably the kind of thing. I haven't actually made this canon or anything, but maybe we'll make it canon now. It was probably the kind of thing where she was already a space marine or whatever her actual designation is. She was training and stuff like that, and they were somebody saw that she was friends with Atlas anyway, and that Atlas had a request, somebody from Atlas's department requested that he get a bodyguard because he kept getting almost killed, and they were like, well, Georgia makes sense, that's fine. And Georgia was like, yes, that does make sense. And in her head she's like, oh my god, my friend's gonna die and it's gonna be my fault. Oh my god, I know how fucking crazy he is. Oh my god, oh, it's gonna be all on me? It's gonna be all on me now? Okay. So I think she likes her job because she is able to make sure that Atlas does not die. But she doesn't like her job because she has to make sure Atlas doesn't die. That makes sense.
It very much does.
Yes, Georgia the stressed out nanny, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I was just reminded of another question that my lovely wife pointed out to me that I totally glossed over that I did have prepared. And it is about Keith. Keith is obviously the designated pilot of the group. Do you want to talk about a little bit about why we've talked about character creation wise why he is a pilot. But in Keith's mind, why does he want to become a pilot, and specifically why is he trying so hard to become an ace? Or trying to get to, the level that he is climbing towards?
Floor drop time. Keith would tell you that the reason he wants to become a pilot is because it is something he enjoys, and his parents were pilots, so he's basically just following in their footsteps. He wants to become an ace pilot and become the captain, literally because he's in a competition with Marie. Because he's like, I gotta be. What do you mean? I want to be the best. No, let me do it. No, he genuinely has a passion for it. However, there's a juicy lore behind that. Would you guys believe me if I told you it was because of a woman?
Of course.
No. It's a tender and sweet. Sweet is the beginning of Keith. So his.
I don't believe that for a second.
Excuse me.
She goes, hold on. let me explain.
The reason Keith doesn't tell anybody this is because it actually sucks real bad. So, Keith's very first relationship was with a girl named Hannah. It was very sweet and tender and genuine, and they loved each other very much. And they dated for, I think in my canon, I think they are like 3 or 4 years. I'm trying to make sure I get the timeline right. And then, Keith and Wadsworth's parents had to go all over the place because they're the what are they, Grant? I'm so sorry. Like, really important commanders?
They were ship captains.
Exactly. Ship captains. That's a quick question, Lynn Jersey. Keith's fighter pilot. Wait, like the name of his fighter or his pilot? His call sign?
His call sign.
His call sign is Ghost. That's another story. That's a funny story. But anyway, so then, sadly enough, the family was like, ew, we gotta pack up, guys, and we gotta move far, far, far away. Hastersloss! So they moved to Hastersloss, and everything was cool and fine, and they were like, yeah, we'll make this work, it'll be cool. And so Keithy, bless his sweet, tender little heart before he became the goblin that he is now, was like, hey, I have a really good idea. Why don't I learn how to fly so I can come visit you? And so he enlisted in piloting school simply so he could go visit Hannah someday, because they're on like literal far ends of the galaxy, and that would be the only way for them to see each other. And he got really far into it, and he actually really enjoyed it too. But he got really far into it, and then Hannah was just like, Keith, we can't, like, I don't know, it'd probably be a lot sweeter, but like, she basically dumps him because she wants to move on. She wants him to move on. But poor sweet little Keefy boy's like, but we love each other, and I love you, and you're the only person I want. And Rebecca! No, that's from something else. So then he was like, well, I'm already really far in this shit, and it's really fun, but also he does it out of spite, and completes it out of spite. And that is the real reason Keith is a pilot. He just doesn't tell anybody that. Because it sucks, and it still bothers him a lot.
What an icon.
Yes. Then he became Keith.
There's a dog.
Puppy.
Oh,
This is the other dog.
This is the other doggo that we
This
were
is-
babysitting
yes.
for friend.
This is Ginger Pie. She is a sweetie and a menace.
He's your baby. Look at him.
And here comes Jealous. They love each other.
I got to pet them this weekend.
Mhm.
So
He's
good.
currently licking my hand and it tickles.
So, that is all the questions that I have prepared. If any of my fellow party members would love, I cannot speak apparently. If any of my fellow party members have anything that they would like to ask or add or anything, please feel free to. And if not,
I mean,
I have a question.
oh,
That he brought up as a joke question, but I think it should still be asked. If the prequel kids, I already know the answer, but if the prequel kids and the endurance campaign people were in a fight, who would win?
oh,
And I was like, immediately the endurance campaign, because the only
Immediately.
powerful person we have in the prequels is Georgia. But
Yeah.
do you guys hot take or like maybe something I'm missing.
I think that would be. I think you're about right with that. I would say I would follow this up with the question of if the prequel characters and the OGs met in the style of Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase, where they like see their like you're me.
Yeah.
Who would be the you're me like pairs?
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously Brick and Georgia. Like,
Mhm.
Keith and Kai.
Yeah, totally.
Atlas and Leaf is an obvious, just so obvious. And Ari, I feel like, well, yeah, Ari and Georgia, yeah, no, like Ari, well, no, that doesn't track because Georgia's, but well, Georgia, I feel like Ari and Brick
I like
both
Georgia.
have elements of Georgia,
Mhm.
but Ari and why am
I just want
Eisen.
Ari and Wadsworth would probably get along.
Brick
They
and
would be like,
Eisen
oh,
would be
okay,
a very
like-
interesting.
Brick
Huh?
and Eisen?
Brick and Eisen would be very interesting.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Eisen would understand Brick, and vice versa.
I feel like Eisen and Zen would get along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
as well.
Probably.
Yeah, and Ari and Robin, I feel like would hit it off because Robin's just very sweet.
Totally. Yeah. That would be very
Oh
cute.
god. Robin and Carta would gang up on Harry and Keith.
No, that's
Oh,
so
yeah, they
weird.
They would totally do
Yeah,
it.
so good.
Rob or Gary would just be like, I thought we were bonding, Robin. How dare you?
I love it. I love
In
it.
his own airy way.
I had a question for Mac and Amanda more about like this is going back to when you guys like first joined and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just curious like what you guys knew about the campaign. Like I don't know what because we met like 5 to 10 minutes before the first Christmas
Yeah.
double shot stream
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that I DM'd. And I was like, I'm just so curious to know what you guys thought of what the fuck we were doing. And like y'all both knew Grant already, but like me and Kyle specifically.
Absolutely nothing. I knew nothing except for how Grant tried to kill you guys. I did not do my homework. I did not have time.
In fairness to Grant, we knew a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We knew about what had just happened on Endurance, and
Yeah.
he actually did a great job of not giving us specifics of what you guys as a team went through, but more so like walked us through kind of the state of things after what happened
Yeah.
aboard the Endurance, why we were kept out of cryo, why we were being joined up with you guys because you were about to leave and go on an expedition and needed more people and all that kind of jazz, like but in terms of you and Kyle and everything like that, all we had was that little 2-session thing that we did for Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't quite know what we were getting into.
The
And it
chaos of me trying to
turned
do
out
Yeah.
fantastic, though.
It was really
Like-
fun learning like how you guys play, like what the dynamic was.
And as someone who has played for as frickin' long as I have and has played with so many different people, you know, as well, there's always this kind of how you were talking about, Vicky, there's always this anxiety of like, what are they gonna be like? Is this gonna be like a wargaming group that's just like kill everything and I'm gonna min-max my character and like,
Yeah.
you know, I just care about battle and fighting, let's just go? Or are these gonna be like the wannabe theater kids, you know, like ourselves, that want to dive into the character and really like get into the role play and talk about it? And so there was this little bit of tension of like, do we have to be educational? Like, do I need to be, because that's not possible with Brick.
Yeah, no.
And, you know, talking
Yeah.
about with that kind of mentality and stuff, but it was really a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, with that, I was really scared because I know zippy zap about astronomy. So I was like, I don't know, am I gonna have to like know what I'm talking about? I know the sun.
The
And that's
freedom that came with changing our name and disassociating ourselves from. I love Matthew and Chris to death, still do, best bosses I've ever had. But the freedom that comes with not having to be linked to an educational thing. Oh, y'all don't even know. Oh, it's amazing. I have no responsibilities
we can
anymore.
Say fuck as much as we want.
Yeah.
Say fuck. Yeah.
We can swear now, guys.
Yeah. It's
We can
incredible.
flirt with each other on screen. What?
Flirt with your friends. That's all that D&D is. Roll dice.
Huh?
I just said roll dice. I said roll dice.
Oh.
And flirt with your friends on stream. That's all D&D is. Also,
Honestly.
speaking of dice, you keep talking, but I want to show y'all my new dice.
Oh, yes.
Nice. I just think that it's really cool to see where this thing has gone to.
Yeah.
You know, like it started out as a cry for help of a creative individual in a non-creative field, just being like, "Can I do something, please? Can we do an entertainment sort of thing and make this fun?" And it's like, you know, turned into this amazing thing. And even if, you know, this channel never grows, or even if it never goes anywhere, we're still like playing D&D together, and I'm having a fucking blast. So it's honestly cool to see how far this thing has come.
Yeah, it is really cool looking back. It's like,
It's great.
and seeing how all our characters have grown too. Like
Yeah.
I said, they're developing into their own thing.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh my god, Kai lives as a fully second like entity in my brain at this point. It's fucking
Yeah.
nuts. It's a
I feel
concern.
It's wild.
And I kind of love it. I mean, I was joking with Kyle today, I think. And somebody. But I was saying that, like, oh, it's been a while since, you know, we got to play the main characters, and I'm really excited about going back to playing the main characters, because I have had Kai withdrawal, and the last time I had Kai withdrawal, I started writing what became a duology novel.
Yep.
So
How many total pages was that?
hold on, I gotta do math.
Okay.
The first one's 271, the second one's 290. These are like word 1.5 spaced pages. I know the word count better. It's 230,000 words, I think, total.
That's a lot.
So
Yeah, this campaign inspired me to finally write the book that I've been trying to write for and by the book, I mean just a book. I didn't think I would ever be able to finish a novel, and I've always wanted to, and then apparently D&D wormed its way into my brain in a way that is
Good,
irreparable.
Lester.
Yeah, I wrote 2. I'm now on a 3rd, unrelated to D&D, and yeah, I joke that this game really is of the devil. As you've noticed, we're in hell, maybe, because the D&D is the game of the devil. Because I'm afraid that I made a deal with something when I wasn't looking, and that's what allowed me to write that fast. But who knows? How many is duology? 2. Duo.
Ology meaning.
This was Lynn Jersey's first time experiencing D&D.
That's very sweet.
Lynn Jersey and my father and I always used to play a lot of board games, and we'll play them when I go back and visit and stuff. My brother fucking hates board games, so he does not participate.
He's a loser.
He is lame. But yeah,
Jersey, if you're
I've
ever
never. I've never tried to run a campaign from my parents. I wonder if that would be something they would
Do
I was
it.
gonna say, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Lynn Jersey, if you're ever here, we should absolutely freaking play.
Yeah.
Could be very
Awesome.
fun.
One shots are a great way to get into D&D.
Hell yeah. Also, if you guys want to see my dice, I got these dice that we all went to a convention together this weekend, and I got these dice, and they're hollow metal dice, and they're hard to see, but they have Medusa on them. And hold on, this one's better for the Medusa. I'm obsessed, and just, did I pay too much money for them? Yeah, but also like
But also dice.
dice.
Never have too many dice.
They
many-
jingle really pretty too, but my microphone refuses to. Actually, stream will hear it because my mic is not going through Zoom. I'm so silly.
Oh,
True.
That's right.
So-
I forgot you did that. Beautiful sound.
Oh shit! I dropped something.
Still beautiful sound.
They like bells, and I'm obsessed. Also, Aiden got me a dice bag. 'Cause
All
he's
of
very
metal
sweet.
dice are amazingly beautiful and awesome.
Big
They are.
fan. We need to get partnerships with these groups. Why didn't we do that while we were there? I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, we need to go back in time, dude.
I'm sure we will see them again.
We're
Need
learning.
to make need to make cards.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make big cards.
Baby cards.
Baby cards.
Yes. Take long
Bibas.
when we all go and cosplay
Yes.
the next time we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have other questions for each other? Does Stream have any other questions?
I think Lynn Jersey was asking whose idea the Christmas one shot was.
Yes. So the Christmas one shot was because we didn't have. We had finished up the main mission and then we didn't. We wanted to give Grant some time in between to write stuff and also to like get to know Mac and Amanda. So we were like, oh, we could do like a duo kind of one shot. And I was like, I can give you a break from DMing, from forever DMing. And I was like, it's not gonna be good, but I can do it. And then I was scrolling through TikTok and somebody, I fully stole this idea from somebody else, but someone had the idea of Michael Bublé and Mariah Carey coming together as villains in a D&D campaign, trying to bring about the eternal winter by singing a duet. And I thought that was the funniest fucking thing I had ever heard. So I made it into so I did it. So
And it was very fun.
It was so fun. Yeah.
I'm glad. It was wild. I have ideas for we've talked about it very briefly. But in theory there will be an end to D&D in space, like the main campaign, this like the endurance campaign. But I never want to stop playing Dungeons and Dragons with you guys. So Grant's like, I'll DM again, or someone else could, and they want me to do it, and I don't know why.
People have spoken.
But-
Don't quote.
We is the people.
Yes.
But each character needs to come up with a Housewives type tagline. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Y'all ever watch Real Housewives?
I've seen like clips, but that's it. I know the memes, but that's it.
Me and Lynn Jersey have watched much Housewives. I usually watch them. No offense, Lynn Jersey. I usually watch them against my will. But I do watch them, and it is fucking funny. But they all have little taglines.
What is an example of their tagline?
What was that?
What is an example of their taglines?
Hold on. Let me find some.
Brick may already have his.
As every Housewives tagline ever. Okay, here we go. Let's see. What do we've got? Eileen Davidson. I'm not a bitch, but I've played one on TV.
Okay.
My advice, speak your mind and carry a good handbag. In a town full of phonies, I'm not afraid to be me. My lips were made for talking, and that's just what they'll do.
Dude, I'm gonna think about
Okay.
this for the rest of my life.
Man.
What would Ari and Keith's housewife tagline be?
I'd rather spend my life kicking ass than kissing it, is one of them.
Dude.
These are
Okay.
really good.
Incredible.
That is actually kind of good.
These are fun. Vicky's favorite. My Dorito. She's my favorite.
Dorito.
Her name is
Dorit?
Dorit, and I took a picture of it
Dorit.
one time, and like on Snapchat, because I was sending it to my friend, I put an O and then a picture of Dorito. Oh, I
good.
love
Amazing.
Dorit. The production crew of Real Housewives Potomac hangs around my town a lot right now, so if you want me to fish for spoilers, let me know. Oh, Sig,
Do it.
get us
Get
the
us some
hookup.
good taglines.
Set up
Yeah.
a security camera.
Yeah.
Bug them. Get it.
Yeah, Real Housewives of New Jersey was the first one. They're messy. They are messy. It's fun. I don't know. I don't know what the tagline would be for that. We gotta think of that. We've gone in the effort that Mac had said earlier of being a little bit more professional on the channel, you know, trying to emulate the gods of D&D streaming like Critical Role and Dimension 20 and stuff like that. We have wanted to put together we've thrown out the idea of putting together a sort of like intro like character reel in a way of like something that would play after the intro that like introduces everybody cute in a cutesy little way. And I feel like this tagline thing would be what that is, and I can't think of anything.
I feel like I have bricks.
You have
Okay,
bricks.
you gotta say it in his voice though.
I'm here to kick gum and chew ass. I'm all out of ass.
Just saying I'm out of ass.
Amazing.
That's so good. That's so good. It's so good. Oh my god.
I can give you Artie's right now.
Oh no.
Would anyone like a Class A diagnostic? I know I would like to give one.
Incredible.
Oh.
I feel like Kai's would be. Oh, I don't know if I have something snappy, but it's something. It would either be a shoot first, ask questions later,
Yeah.
or God's least favorite princess. But most
That's so good though.
God's least favorite princess. God's favorite princess before, I don't know. God's favorite disowned princess. It's hard. It's tough.
I like that.
I don't know what Aries would be.
Yeah, come on.
I feel like he would just say like one thing in a really awkward way, and I don't know what it would be. Like just one word or something.
What am I supposed to say? And
Yeah.
then that gets flashed across the screen.
That's really good. That's really good. Wait, well, no! Don't you always... What about the Uncrustables?
Oh yeah, it could be something about it.
Don't fucking touch my uncle.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't fucking touch my Uncrustables.
Oh no, it's just like, do you need to chill? Have an Uncrustables.
Perfect.
That's it.
I love it.
Bad day, have an Uncrustable.
So
Oh.
good.
Patootie.
Wonderful.
Well...
Oh, that's since we were talking about new streamlined stream appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you see the kiddos, you will be able to see the kiddos because I am making icons for our
For
character,
main campaign.
for main campaign.
The main
So not-
kiddos,
Sorry,
yeah.
not those kiddos. I'm sorry, I forgot we called them that.
I was like, that's only
I
a week.
cannot. You're like, Amanda, what are you doing?
Yeah. Hopefully,
No, you.
there will be an updated little thing, and you'll be able to see.
Mhm.
Got a little surprise.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
You will get to see Kai Brick, Arian Leaf in the flesh. I might design a little god thing for Grant, but I don't know yet. We'll
We've
figure
been
it out.
talking
Just
about
put
Yeah.
it, just do a little like silhouette in a hood.
That's kind of what I was thinking, like
Yeah.
something like
That's all you
or
need.
just like a D20 with a skull on it. I don't know.
There you go. That's
We'll see.
appropriate.
Like, cause he calls himself the player killer all
Yeah,
the
what's
time.
your name in Zoom right now? I can mouse over. It says the jerk who tortures y'all's characters. I like
Oh,
that.
he changed it.
He did.
He changed
He
it.
did.
What was it before, Grant?
Killer of characters, killer of
Be
NPCs or
honest.
something like that.
Yes.
Although it's
killer
not
of
even
characters slash
NPCs. You have killed me.
Yeah.
Canonically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you won't be the last.
That's not comforting.
Free game. If you can kill Brick, I will be impressed.
No.
But you're more than welcome to try.
Ari would not be impressed by that.
Well, I mean,
Please
it would
don't.
be impressive.
Kai would
Note to
burn
self,
whatever
drop
planet.
station.
Kai would burn whatever planet we're on down if that happened.
I love it.
If needed, drop spaceship on brick. Okay.
Do it. Show me what you've got.
You could probably still survive.
Yeah, don't tempt him.
It's fun tempting in Melbourne, Jersey.
No,
It's so
no,
fun.
it's not.
I've been doing it for 2 years.
The other night, you have to watch what you say around this man now, because the other night we were talking about puppets, and he
No!
just gets this evil look on his
No!
face, and I turned and I was like, Grant, don't you fucking dare.
No.
Don't do this.
Grant, if you ever bring out puppets, I have trauma now. If you ever dare to bring out puppets in D&D, the stream, there won't even be, I won't even react. I will end the stream and turn off the Zoom call and not speak to you again. Like, that's a real threat.
The only puppeting that will happen is of people you care about. It's fine.
That's already
Oh,
happening.
shit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Those strings,
like
it's fine.
fun.
Those marionette strings can't get tied and then delay my show for 45 minutes. So,
I think what he was doing with him to get it all tangled.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to stop it.
So we're gonna go ahead and end stream now.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end stream now.
Thank you for joining. No.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you guys for being patient and answering all of the questions that we have, and hopefully we can do this again because I think this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
for
much,
sure.
Mac, for hosting and for
Very
answering
welcome.
asking all the questions. It was so fun.
That was really fun.
Very welcome.
Thank you to chat for being here and for asking your own questions. Lynn Jersey, Sig, I saw Adwaith. Oh, Adwaith, Aiden will be here on Monday, as usual. Yeah, I think that's everybody that I saw. Oh, Anakim has been lurking, I believe, or was lurking before. But thank you guys all for stopping in, for asking questions, for chilling, vibing, enjoying this fireside chat in hell with Elmo. And as far as the rest of the week goes, on Thursday I will be here playing some more Inscription. That game's fucking wild, man. It's good. It's real good. And I'm gonna play more of that. And then next week, like I said, on Monday, Aiden and I will be here talking about astronomy. I don't know what exactly we'll talk about, but we'll do something. On Tuesday night, we'll be back to probably finish up this prequel mission. And then, yeah. Also, after we do finish the prequel mission, to give Grant a little bit of space, and to honor the challenge y'all met, we're gonna have Jackbox night. So I think we're gonna do a Jackbox game night at our regular time, because I feel like the people who actually watch this channel are here during that time anyway, so might as well make it then. So it'll be Tuesday night, probably. This will be confirmed next week if we actually do finish, the episode or the mission. But we're looking at June 11th as our Jackbox game night. That is a Tuesday. It will be at the regular time that we normally stream, and you guys will get to join us for Jackbox, and it will be very fun. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. The no contact gaming stream is also something I will honor, I swear. I'm planning on playing the original Mario Brothers. I'm going to get a capture card for the Switch, and probably I'm gonna play that after I finish Inscription at the usual gaming time. So that should be fun. I will not know what's going on. I won't be able to see anything. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able. I'll have to have my glasses on, turn the stream on, and then take them off, and then just leave it up to God. But it'll be fun. But I think that is about it. Follow if you're new here. Subscribe if you feel so inclined. And we have Discord. You should join the Discord. You can also follow us on Instagram. I swear to God, there's gonna be more things there soon. I swear to God. Also, if you're catching this VOD later, thanks for hanging out and watching it. Our other VODs are on YouTube. All those links are now in the chat. Thank you, Grant. And I already said thank you to Mac for being an amazing host today, but also thank you to Amanda and Grant for just, again, being lovely people to hang out with and play D&D with. It's gonna be like you playing Mario. Don't be mean like that to yourself. No, you're good. No, it's okay. Anyway. And, shout out to Kyle, who's busy doing something fun. I miss you. But I think that's it. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, that's it.
All
Thanks
right.
for watching us yap for 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. This is not a D&D.
It's been
It
fun.
probably should have been a just chatting stream, but it's over now, so.
Yeah,
we're talking about D&D.
Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.